This is the story of how we went from door dashing to real estate investing to succeeding at life, then failing again, and then succeeding again, and then failing some more, but then we ultimately succeed. The beginning is not the hardest. Like, yeah, it's the unknown, but like the middle bit is usually the hardest, where all of your ideas aren't quite hitting yet. You might be in debt, you might be failing. You know, that's part of it, because you don't know what happiness is without sadness, right? So it's the same thing in business. You don't know what success is without failure. And, you know, even Elon Musk, after he had made $100 million, he almost went bankrupt twice. So, you know, like, it doesn't matter whatever position you're at. It could always go back to zero and you have to start over. But don't be upset for where you're at. Just being focused and motivated for where you're going. And if you can visualize where you want to be, believe you're already there, and take action based on those beliefs, and stay positive and motivated despite external factors, you can get there. Like, example, me perfectly, I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Right now, we're like way too much in debt. We haven't generated enough money from this business. So what do? We double down. We imagine, what would it be like to make more money than we could possibly need from this business? What would that feel like, right? You know, there would be no stress. You know, we'd be having fun. We might be having a lot of clients, or getting millions of views on these videos, helping other people achieve their dreams. You know, that feels pretty good. Okay, getting in the right mindset. What type of work would we be doing in that mindset? Yeah, we'd be making fun content. We'd be documenting the process, shooting the engineering project. Okay, this is fun, you know, getting in the right mindset. Yeah. Okay, so what will get us there right now? Okay, well, we need to generate more money than we're spending right now. Okay, so we need some high ticket clients. That's one avenue to do it. We need a few videos to go viral, like to millions of views, to like trickle in the other videos. That would help. Okay, that feels pretty good. Okay, so we just gotta take massive action, and we gotta keep learning and growing, and, you know, we'll get better and better. And, you know, this is probably the lowest part of the journey right now, but the original idea with this was, my goal was to become a trillionaire from revolutionizing civilian space travel. I thought, how cool would it be to start filming when I had nothing, document the process to becoming a trillionaire? I thought that would be, you know, like a great motivation for anybody trying to achieve anything in life. Dude, like, if that guy can do it, you can see the transition from not knowing anything, broke, stressed out of his mind, to then becoming a trillionaire, you know, impacting billions of lives. That come up, that story would be so sensational that it would inspire anybody to achieve anything they want. And then we could create millions of people in abundance, billions of people in abundance, and then, you know, just get better and better. And then the way we see it with AI going, I really see what is going to happen. It's AI is going to get good enough in the next few years where pretty much every job will become obsolete. So we'll have some type of universal basic income, or potentially we'll just get rid of money altogether, because anything we want to create will be instantaneous and basically free. Because money right now is meaningless. It only has value because we give it value. It's not tied to gold or anything like that. We just print it and we accept that we give it value. So once all jobs are no longer necessary and people can do whatever they want, you know, with their free time, money won't really be an issue. Because, like, let's say you want a Ferrari, right? Well, if you have that's a weird light. Okay, let's say you want a Ferrari, right? Right now, Ferraris are hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why? Because people have to build them with their hands, materials are expensive, the design and engineering process, and then they sell it at a premium because of their brand name. But let's say we're in the age of AI, where abundance, you know, you can 3D metal print anything within a day or so. Okay, so let's say you want a Ferrari. Okay, you snap your fingers, I want a Ferrari, I want this, this, and this. The AI will 3D metal print it. The only cost will be the cost of the metals. So, you know, be a fraction of the cost. And even if that, we'll probably get to a state where we'll eventually figure out matter synthesizers. So we could literally combine atoms together and form new atomic structures. So you could throw in trash and come up with any type of material you want, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities. Like, we see the universe doing that. Like, why do we have all of the materials we have on this earth right now, right? It was over a prolonged period of time, but the universe created those materials. So if we can replicate the fundamental processes of our universe, then we can basically morph, whether you call it dimensions or atomic structures into any physical object we want. And now this might seem a little complicated, but imagine an AI that's 1,000 times smarter than us. They'll be able to do the computations like that, and we can instantly become an age of abundance. And people still think this is like science fiction, but I guarantee you, like right now we're in 2023, by 2030, AI will be way smarter than us, pretty much have taken over all the jobs, and we'll all be on some universal basic income, or we got rid of money altogether. And then people say, oh, that will be a terrible dystopian future. No, that is what true utopia is. You only work if you want to work on things you want to work on. So literally, people will just do super creative things. It will be like the Renaissance all over again, where, you know, people are just coming up with new engineering concepts, coming up with new art, new sciences. This is going to be the true age of abundance we're going to see in our lifetimes. And if you maintain that vision of the future and you believe it's already happening, you'll see a series of events unfold that will support that reality. And while that's unfolding, I want to document this whole process of me going from negative to trillionaire, because I think that would be very inspirational for any young kid. Like when I was 12, I watched Iron Man, thought that was really cool. And then that was right around the time Elon Musk was starting to do interviews. And I remember, oh, he's like the real life Iron Man. And then he was like the first inspiration of like, hey, I could do this too. And then as I got a little bit older, I saw people like Hugh Hefner, and I was like, oh, that seems like a pretty good reality. If I can combine the personalities of Hugh Hefner and Elon Musk together, that would be my ideal reality. Yeah, so Elon Musk, the whole methodology is you can do impossible things if you work your ass off and you believe, if you break things down to the fundamental truths. So like, what do we know for certain, and then build up from there. And then Hugh Hefner was the standpoint of, he was kind of like the pioneer of the sexual revolution and how we could go from, you know, basic understandings of what's going on in the news cycle to really expanding upon, you know, he used magazines back in the day. That was like our social media. And what he did was he was the embodiment of the character he created from the magazine. So the whole point of the magazine was a cultured, high-class individual who's able to support many people and have fun adventures. So then he kind of embodied that throughout the 60s and 70s. And then most people our age now only remember him from his later work in like the 90s, where he had that like reality show with 3 blonde girlfriends, you know, something like that. But like the whole point of his character from the get-go was embody this playboy lifestyle. And since he was the head of it, you know, funny enough, he was 27 when he started the magazine. So if you're in your early 20s now, you know, it took him, I think it was like 8 years to get to the point where he was super successful with it. So, you know, like if you stick with something long enough, you're going to fail a bunch, but you're eventually going to figure it out. You're going to learn. And then if you have something that the public likes, that the public is interested in, you get paid handsomely for that. It's just like with all those Mr. Beast videos. Like he started off for long periods of time getting no views, no subscribers. But once he started figuring out what people like to watch, what he enjoyed doing, then those two things combined, and now he gets hundreds of millions of views on pretty much every video. And it's not luck, it's a systemized approach. If you actually study the interviews, which, Angelo, you should, because that's kind of like the whole direction you're trying to go in, is if you study his approach about how important thumbnails are, titles are, the hook in the beginning, you know, the finite details that draw someone in and then get them to watch the entire video. If you actually study what causes that, you'll be a much better filmmaker. And you can pretty much apply that to any business of if you study the people who are already succeeding in the field you want to be in and replicate what they're doing, learn from their mistakes so you don't have to make them too, you'll get there in much quicker time, and then you'll eventually surpass them, right? Like Steve Jobs was the big guy, now Elon Musk is the big guy doing even more than he did, and then the next person, maybe potentially me, will be even that higher level of, you know, jumping off of those idea points of if you work your butt off, you can figure out new systems that haven't been implemented yet. Like for him, it was reusable rockets and electric cars. For me, it would be electric rockets and, you know, eventually space homes, space cities, things of that nature. So like we could kind of pay hand in hand. You know, you don't have to have competition. You can have collaboration if you have the same vision in mind, right? His goal is to get people on Mars and colonize that. With my type of electric propulsion, that would get him there much faster. So he'd be inclined to work with me on that. So like you can, and then the stuff I want to create, like space homes, moon bases, things of that nature, that all of the technology we learn and implement will enhance Earth, right? Why should we pursue space? Because it will enhance Earth. Like the Apollo missions, if we didn't go to the moon in the 60s, guess what we wouldn't have right now? We wouldn't have home installation, we wouldn't have portable computers, and we wouldn't have smartphone cameras. Those three and this is just those tip of the iceberg. There's many more inventions that trickled down from the space industry, but because space is so inhospitable and you have to come up with new insights, new engineering to make that successful, all of those new ideas then trickle down the economy to Earth's market. So now we get to take for granted all these wonderful innovations that the space industry helped create. And you're watching this now on probably a smartphone. So your portable computer with your smartphone camera that you take selfies on wouldn't exist without NASA putting hundreds of millions to billions of dollars to develop the technology for space travel. So just think about that. That's why space is so important. Because if you do the hardest thing and you figure out how to solve the hardest thing, the moderate things and the easy things will be easier and easier to solve. It's like, what's a simple example? If you've ever played a video game, they give you easy, medium, hard, and expert mode. Now, if you play in easy mode, you'll have an easy time, you'll figure it out easy, great. But if you play on expert mode, you're gonna fail a lot more, but you're gonna be way more advanced in the short term compared to someone just playing on easy mode. Does that make sense?